Okay. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. So Upanishads. So what are Upanishads? They are part of the Vedas. And what are Vedas? In very simple terms, it's a manual for this whole cosmos. Okay? So it is not written by any particular person. It's it's coming from God, only the higher self, and it's mentioned many times, even including Bhagavad Gita. So basically, they were revealed to all these Rishi Muni in their meditation, their pure mind, and then got compiled by Ved Vyasji. That's how it came about. And what are Upanishads are the last part of the Vedas, the most important or the conclusion part of it. That's how we have to look at it. That's why it's called Vedanta. Vedanta means Vedon ka ant, not ki Ved khatam ho gaya, not that kind of ant. End of Vedanta means conclusion. That's why the word Vedanta. So Vedanta and Upanishad, these are same meaning. And then we know that Bhagavad Gita is the sar, means it's the essence of all the Upanishads. That's why it's so important. Okay, sometimes it's called another Upanishad also. And what is the meaning of the word Upanishad? It's made of 3 different words. Upa means near, ni means below, and shad means to sit. So what does it mean? Near, below, sit. What does it mean? It has a deeper meaning. Again, nothing is simple in Upanishad. Even the word Upanishad you got to contemplate upon. So firstly, that Upanishad cannot be learned just by reading a book. You need somebody, a teacher, so you need you sit near the guru, the closer you sit, better it will be, because you will understand it. There has to be rapport between them. And then below means because the knowledge always goes from higher to lower, like a water flowing. So it's a humility, say, because there are a lot of contradictory statements are there, this, that. So you have to have a faith, Shraddha in that person. That's why it's that below thing is because of that. Hey, I don't know and I'm trying to learn. So like the approach we have to take, from whatever experience, I have from learning. If I don't understand something from Upanishad, instead of doubting it, my approach should be, I don't understand this. I need to ask question. I need to contemplate. I need to understand if Upanishad is saying, it has to be true. See what I'm saying? Like Krishna Bhagwan's words. I have to have faith in it. If he's saying that, hey, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect, you are that Atma, I have to have faith, even though I don't know yet. So that's how this whole thing, the approach has to be taken. So how many Upanishads are there? There is one thought that even till today they are discovering more, because some of the thing got lost and all that. I am told that till today they have found 183, and they still keep discovering. And some people even have the idea it's being even written now. We don't know. But the main are like about 108 people talk about. But out of that 108, 10 are the most powerful, big one, major Upanishads they are called, because Shankaracharya ji commented upon them, and there is because they are very subtle, so you need some great Mahatma's commentary and all that. And very quickly, you may have heard some of it. They are Keno Upanishad, Kathopanishad, Prashna Upanishad, Mundaka, Mandukya, which we already did. Taittiriya we are going to do. Then there is one called Aittiriya, Chandogya, and Brihad Aranyaka. These are the 10 main ones. And what we did, the Mandukya, it's one of the smallest one. It is the smallest one, actually, of these major ones. And but because it's so small, there is so much depth in it. So there is commentary by Gaudpada ji. Gaudpada was a grand guru of Shankaracharya. So Shankaracharya's guru was Govinda Bhagwat Pad ji, and उनके जो गुरु थे वो थे गौड़पाद जी. उन्होंने commentary लिखी. Or anybody who studies Mandukya, they always study with that karika. because without that you won't get the whole picture. So, where the word Mandukya came from, Mandukya means frog. So you say, what is the connection with the frog over here with this such a high knowledge? People might think, or some like Taittiriya Upanishad. Hey, Taittiriya is a bird, So, bird से क्या connection है? We'll see next week when we come to that. But frog से ये Chinmaya ji explained, it's a symbolic thing. He said that it seems that frog का ये होता है कि वो hibernate करता है, rest of the time and away from, all these. So what is the symbol of away from desiring, demanding, procuring, consuming, wanting? उससे सबसे वो हट के ना hibernate करता है, and then he comes out in the rainy season and he starts croaking, अपना वो टर करना शुरू कर देता है. तो सुनने में बड़ा कर्कश लगता है in the beginning, but बाद में everybody associates it with rain and everything, and it gives you a little peace, it's rain and this. See what I'm saying? So the same way these these Mahatmas, they went into these caves and they were away from this hustle bustle, contemplating. They're like mental scientists, okay, and they came up with all these things, and now they're coming and telling the world like a frog is croaking. But the truth in the Upanishad is not embellished by a lot of sweetness. Sometimes it's given as a harsh thing, straight, So it may sound like unpolished and uncut, but that's the kind of symbolism behind. That's the Mandukya Upanishad, as though a frog is telling you, and the frog represent all these saints and sages. And usually the Upanishad style is a conversation between the student and the teacher. And then, but the words are very suggestive, and they are talking about an inexplicable subject. Just like we saw these examples, that how examples are difficult, but if you contemplate upon it, then you can understand. So then you have to go beyond the words in it. And it seems that there is one Upanishad called Muktiko Upanishad, where Mandukya is mentioned, and then it says that it is Mandukya alone is sufficient for aspirant to get liberation. It is so powerful. That's what talked about Mandukya. So, and it is part of the Atharva Veda. So it's, when he said that each Upanishad is part of either one of the Vedas. So this is Atharva Veda. And so what does it talk about? It talks about everything about Om, but obviously the main subject is Brahman. So Om is the symbol of that Brahman. Just like, America. America is very vast, so they make the symbol a flag, or Indian flag for India. So when I look at the flag, I know, hey, that's India. Same way if you look at Om, there's Brahman. See what I'm saying? There's a very clever way they created this symbol. So the first verse starts Hari Om. So where did Hari Om come from? Here, Mandukya, we tell each other Hari Om. It said that Om is, in Om, the word is all this. What is all this? A clear explanation of this is that it is the past, present, and future, and it is beyond the 3 periods of time also. So what is this telling you? Very, very briefly, there is no way. We took a couple of years, right, to finish this. So I'm just doing it in 15 minutes or half an hour. All is telling you that Brahman is what we studied now in Bhagavad Gita. The world mein Brahman hai, but beyond bhi hai. See what I'm saying? So when you talk about Om, it symbolizes not only the world, but beyond it also. That's what it means. And the second verse says, because there are 12 verses, all this is Brahman, this Atma is Brahman. So everything that you see is Brahman only, and Atma, my own self, is also Brahman. And then it has 4 parts. So don't get confused with the 4 parts. What is the meaning? It's talking about the 3 experiences we have, and the 4th is the Brahman, which is a substratum of all. But it's just called like a part. That's all. Just way of saying it. So the first is waking state. And then it gave the name Vaishvanara. I don't want to go too much technical. In waking state, we are conscious of this world and the objects. So it describes all in detail and all that. And a lot of details are there in the Karika. So that's first part. Second part is they call Tejas. Tejas is nothing but the dream state. Okay. So So in that dream state, I'm conscious of the internal world of mind. And the third one is deep sleep state, and where the sleeper who's sleeping does not desire any objects, and but this is called pragnya, the name given over there. And what is the field over there? It's a mass of homogeneous consciousness full of bliss. So that's why it's called Anandamaya over there. That's why we feel so happy when we sleep, deep sleep. Okay? So, and then this is, from this state, the other two are projected out, basically. It's also called causal body. It's a little technical, And the fourth is the Turiya, means this is what it is, verse 7 of if somebody wants to go back and study what Brahman is, study the 7th verse of Mandukya. And I will not talk about the first part because it can get very confusing, but it's describing what Brahman is. So he's saying it's unseen by the sense organs. That's first thing. Beyond experience. Incomprehensible by mind. Uninferable, means you cannot have an example. That's why I was saying every example is a poor example only, because you cannot have an example. Unthinkable, indescribable, negation of all phenomena. But this is all negative. Like our Swamis will say, that means ghar jao, kuch samajh mein nahi aane wala. No, it's not like that. It has a positive thing also. It's peaceful, auspicious, and non-dual. And it can be realized through experience. That's what it is. So, and then it says in the 7th verse only, it says, this Atman, this has to be realized. That means you have to do it yourself and you have to experience it. So now, the 8-9 se shuru hota hai, ki the same Atma, now you look at it from the syllable point of view. Because Om mein A, U, and M is there, O, U, and Ma. Because they talked about 3 states. So now look at it from the point of view of the letters. A is the waking state. So then verse 9 will tell you that A is the waking state. And वो भी बड़ा smartly उन्होंने किया है. Because शब्द जो है ना, वो is first. In like A, B, C, D, right? A, E, E. हर एक language में पहले होता है. All pervading kind of thing. So waking state is like that, is the first one. And if somebody understands this waking state, what it is, then they attain all the fulfillment of desire, it says, in your sadhana. And then the 10th verse will say that from the letter point of view, U is that, or U is that dream state. And this is in between the 2 states. And verse 11, the deep sleep is Ma. So when you say Om and then you say as though you are going in deep sleep, merge हो जाएंगे उसमें. Okay? और वहीं से वो दोनों state निकलती है, kind of. So this is more like a causal body, you can call it. I don't want to get too technical over here, because if somebody is really interested, we have all those recordings also. So I think somebody who understands this, I forgot to tell you about this. If somebody understands the dream state thoroughly, then he will develop a very extraordinary mind and intellect. It will become that's why it's called Tejasvi. And then if somebody understands this deep sleep, he has literally understood everything inside out, within him, outside. All that is ever abhi experience nahi hua usko. He has a very sharp, very subtle understanding he gets. And verse 12 mein, he talks about again of that Brahman, that 4th part is that soundless. Means, between the 2 Oms, I was telling you that soundless state is called the Brahman, representative of Brahman. That is incomprehensible. Again, it gives the same kind of adjectives. Beyond all senses, cessation of all phenomena, blissful, non-dual Atman. That's what it represents, the 4th state. And he's saying that he who knows this 4th state merges his self in the Supreme Self, the individual in the total. So that final merging, as though the river is becoming the ocean. It merges. So the final merging is, they talked about it in verse 12 with this sadhana. So this is what Mandukya Upanishad is. Just to give a brief reminder of those who did it with all of us, and if you didn't know anything about it. Okay? And when we go forward, we will do, next week we will start with Taittiriya. Any question about what Upanishads are and significance?
I have a little bit of confusion. What I heard was Brahman is in all 4 states.
No, the 3 states. 4th state, what was the
3 states.
फोर्थ उसका नाम दे दिया फोर्थ, पर उसका नाम तुरिया बोला, ऐसे तो समझाने के हिसाब से उसको फोर्थ बोला. एक्चुअली द फोर्थ pervades all 3. That makes sense? Yeah. Yeah, it's not like a compartmentalized state or anything. Okay? Waking, just look at it as an experience. Maybe that's a better word to use instead of state. You know, you have a waking experience, you have a dream experience, and you have a deep sleep. Right? Who is supporting all the 3? It is that Brahman. तो वैसे उसको फोर्थ बोला, बट एक्चुअली वो फोर्थ स्टेट नहीं है, वो प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस है. You can call it a state actually, that's fine too. That state will exist without the 3 also.
And it is present in all 3 also.
Yes, exactly. There you go. So you got it right. You got it right.
The 4th state is the thread through that necklace.
Yes.
In the other 3.
True. All that can fit now. Yeah. And the 4th state has an independence of its own. The waking state cannot be without the 4th state. Right? Dream cannot be without the 4th state, but the 4th state can be by itself.
But a totally self-realized person merges with the 4th state.
He merges, but he still has a body. So when they talk about merging, it is more like you can say merging in the understanding.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. But when he drops his body, he's not going to have to take another janma because his...
Right.
Yeah. So that's how you have to look at it. So that's why it's called Jivan Mukta. It's like, I am in my dream and I know I am in my dream. That is the state of a realized soul. Yeah. So
he's always conscious of where he is.
Exactly. Yeah. He never ceased to see God in the world. He knows that's what it is. हम लोग तो भूल जाते हैं. The moment ये क्लास खत्म होगी, हम लोग बाहर जाएंगे, हम लोग भूल जाएंगे गॉड को. फिर हमको अच्छा बुरा यही सब दिखाई देगा.
There is another thing I want to share with everyone. That's just my understanding. I may be wrong. When we are meditating and the thoughts keep flowing through our mind, then we can get to the root of the cause, root of the thought. What is causing this thought? And then maybe we are able to root it out forever.
Yeah, you will understand that the thoughts can come and go, but that substratum always remains, right? That's the whole idea. That हम लोग thoughts को ज़्यादा importance देना शुरू कर देते हैं.
But we want to get rid of all the thoughts eventually, right?
See, when we say get rid of, तो वो उसमें थोड़ा confusion भी हो सकता है. Like some saint was saying, don't think that saint को भी के बुरे ख्याल भी आते हैं saints के mind में भी, but he doesn't give importance to it. That's the only difference. Okay? कि कोई कुछ बुरा करेगा उसको भी गुस्सा आ जाएगा कभी, but he's not, वो बह नहीं जाएगा उसमें.
You have to tire the thoughts out.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't suppress them. So let them come and go. Come and go. It doesn't matter. You go back to where you were.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
While you'll not get the thoughts.
Exactly. If you don't, जैसे कोई सामने से जा रहा है, हाँ, you don't pay attention to them, they won't indulge with you after a while. जैसे ये तो बड़ा बोरिंग आदमी है, मेरे से बात ही नहीं करता है. So you don't talk to your thoughts. Because हम लोग क्या करते हैं ना, कोई thought आता है, just think, just observe yourself. I'm sitting very peacefully and suddenly I think of some past thing. फिर मेरा माइंड वो उस आदमी में या कोई सिचुएशन में खूब जाएगा और ये किया वो किया, it will keep going. Just let it go.
I'll tell you a very fresh example from yesterday.
Yeah.
So Nina is not feeling good, and I'm trying to heal her using my mantra I used to use, and I'm not used to using the mantra. So last night it took me almost an hour and a half to complete one round, which I used to do in 10 minutes. And I don't know, there were no other thoughts coming, but I will get lost while sleeping doing the mantra. So you have to go back to it and keep doing it till you get done. So same way, when you are meditating, let the thoughts come and tire themselves out. You are in no hurry. We live for multiple lifetimes. So
I think that another way that the saints and sages explain to us is that don't identify with the thoughts.
Yeah.
But because sometimes, हम लोग थोड़ा, why this bad thought is coming to me? So don't even give importance of a bad, good, जो भी है, It's just let it be. That's what they're telling her. It's kind of hard in the beginning to understand what they're trying to say. But it's like waves are coming. Some can be small, some can be big, some can have more foam in it, some like that. Come and go, who cares? That kind of thing. We have to...
Once you realize it has no significance in your life, it'll be gone.
Right. And then we know that if Sabhi Upanishad ne ek baat zarur kahi hai, that we have that substratum in us, that's what we truly are, then everything comes and goes. But हम लोग थोड़ा भूल जाते हैं इसको. हम लोग को लगता है कि वो life and death हो गया, कुछ situation, We get so attached and this and that, all kinds of problems start coming because we forgot the substratum. It's like somebody was saying that...
And one problem is...
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Anilji.
One problem is we start to think how this thought is going to affect our life. And nobody knows about future. Nobody knows about the next second, You may not be here at all. So... Why should we worry what this thought is going to do to us in future when we do not know the future?
True. And then the whole science of thought is told by Lord Krishna in chapter 2 that if a thought comes and you keep repeating that thought, then only it becomes an attachment. Suppose एक thought आया, some bad thought came to my mind, कि मैं इस बंदे को एक झापड़ लगाऊं जोर से, right? समझो. बट मैंने उसको ज़्यादा ध्यान नहीं दिया तो वो चला जाएगा. बट मैं सोचती हूँ रियली झापड़, फिर मैं जाके मार ही दूंगी उसको, राइट? That's how it is. That, hey, if some bad thought comes, if you don't give it importance, it's going to just go away. You won't even remember, But if you're going to keep thinking, then it becomes attachment, and then it becomes intense desire. And then when something comes in the obstruction, then it becomes anger. Then it becomes... delusion, and delusion, you lose the memory. The whole science is given. So that's what they're saying in the beginning, bad thought comes, don't identify with it, don't think, just let it go. So like that. That's the practice we have to do. And in the end, they always tell you that rise above those thoughts, good or bad, both, right? So same thing. Yeah. Because you can get attached to good thoughts also. Right? I want to do this, some good stuff, and then I keep thinking about it. Oh no, this is going to take me to God, but I'm trying to meditate. It's not going to take me because my mind will go in that then. That's why they say in the Sattvic is you have to rise above it and all that. But you cannot, one important thing to remember is you have to make the Satoguna more for you to transcend it. That there is no question about it. A very tamasic and rajasic mind is not going to be able to transcend it.
And knowledge has a lot to do with that, isn't it?
Yes, because with knowledge, you will let go of a lot of things.
Right.
Yeah, correct. So it's all tied up together. See, now you are putting all these two and two together, how it flows perfectly, what they're trying to say. Yeah, exactly. I think there was in Buddha series, there was this very beautiful analogy that it showed about Buddha's life, that in the beginning he's trying to learn meditation from some of the sadhus that he met in his journey. And then this Buddha is telling, my mind is very disturbed, because he had seen all these things that disturbed his mind, like rogi or, somebody dying and things like that. And I can't shake it off, what do I do? So the saint, who was trying to teach him, gave a beautiful example. He said, you look up. So he looked up. He said, you see sky and you see clouds? He said, yes. So he's saying, what is happening with the clouds? He's saying, yeah, clouds are coming and going. So he's saying that's how your mind should be. It's like a sky, and the thoughts just come and go. Let it go. You don't hold on to it and that's what. So I thought that analogy was so nice. He's saying, focus on the sky. So in the mind, and the cloud some can be dark, some can be white, some can be higher, some can be lower, but in the end, all move away. So that's how he taught him to meditate. Few things you always remember, from the series. Sorry, what, Anilji, we can't hear you. You're muted.
I think that's a beautiful example, because so many times we say it's a beautiful cloud or it's a dark cloud. So if we just let it go, let the cloud flow. Yeah.
But what we try to do is, I have to think of only good stuff all the time. And the harder we try, it doesn't happen. Because in the daytime, so many things can happen.
Yeah.
So if we can learn to let go both kind of thought, that's where we're going to be able to become peaceful. Yeah.
It does, your mind becomes so peaceful when you let so many things just go,
Yep. And when you are not trying to possess something, then it's very peaceful. That's why when we go and look at the mountains or some, ocean or sky, and then why do we feel peaceful? Because firstly, that your ego is really small, because you're like, compared to the vastness, you're nothing. And secondly, you are not trying to take that mountain home or own it or something, You just kind of happy looking at it. And it's like little kids, They, on one hand, they feel so attached, but very quickly they forget. If you take everything away from them, they're still fine. So that's
about nature. About nature, Yogananda wrote that when we are with the nature and we are appreciating nature, nature is charging us.
Yes.
With energy.
Very nice, yeah.
It's cosmic energy that we are absorbing.
Absolutely.
And when we are criticizing, we are wasting our energy away.
True. I remember there was one incident, it seems that, जो चिन्मयानंद जी के गुरु है ना, तपोवन महाराज, उनकी के बारे में बताया कि एक बार एक डिवोटी आया और he brought his son with him. And son was a teenager. शायद अमेरिका से आया होगा, I don't know. बोला कि my son is, सारी वो सन की बुराई कर रहा था, because teenage यहाँ पर क्या क्या करते हैं, right? He doesn't want to listen, he go party, ये वो सब. So Tejoman, Tapovan Maharaj, said, okay, I'll talk to him. So when he was talking to him, he didn't talk about Vedanta, nothing. He told him, started talking about his football and whatever his interest was. And then he said, hey, what do you do in the morning and all that? So he told her, मैं क्या करता हूँ? I want you to do one thing for me. If you can do this, every morning, get up at 5 o'clock and go sit under a tree for 5 minutes. And then after that, if you feel sleepy, you can go back to sleep. Just do this. So, and for some reason, the Tapovan Maharaj did make an impression on him. And then he started doing that. And by just beginning like this, sitting under a tree, after a while, he started feeling peaceful. He started increasing the time. And then he started contemplating about his life. he started thinking all the wrong things he was doing, and he transformed his life. This is a true story that happened. So someone says, hey, I don't know how to sit quietly. So the saints and sages, they are just giving you a clue that you can begin somewhere.
Actually, Sir Priyananda, he said, someone said, I cannot meditate, my mind is here and there. He says, okay, practice sitting still.
Correct.
Every day practice sitting still for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, then you can move into meditation.
Right. And then you have to support it the rest of the time by practicing karma yoga and all, like Krishna Bhagwan said, and that will help. Your mind will become a little purer and all that. So all those paths are given. And that's another thing, that the subject of Upanishad, it's me, the world, and God, and what is the relationship between that, and how to reach that higher state. The Yoga Shastra is always there in all the Upanishads. All the methodology of how to get there is all there. So anyway, with that, we can end this particular session unless somebody has some question or anything about Upanishads. Okay, so let's close this and then we can do other things. If somebody wants to ask in the last half an hour some haldi katha, my husband is expert in it. You can ask all haldi questions. Okay. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.